Polanco on the run and makes the grab. Gregory Polanco.
It's fun to watch. You get to watch for a long time.
We got a big grande cup of coffee from El Cafe. Gregory Polanco's first Major League homer gives the Pirates an 8-6 lead.
That could have been a coming out party for it.
From Miami, Florida. Tonight it's game 2 of the 3-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins. The Bucks, on the heels of their exciting extra inning victory last night, try to take another series. And a win tonight gets the Pirates to that 500 mark. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. You know, Bob, last night before the game, Clint Hurdle said it's nice to click your heels and dream about what could be with the top 3, that outfield of Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. Well, we saw what he was talking about last night. This is pretty incredible. An epic performance last night for Gregory Polanco.
It really was. Really kind of a test for him that he passed with flying colors. You know, he got all the hits. I mean, that was really a lot of fun to watch, the way he was, setting the table and really, gelling with those 3 guys up at the top of the lineup. But that last at bat when he hit the home run, here he comes up in the extra innings with the tying run, or no, the winning run out there at second base. And did he pass the test? He hit the ball out of the ballpark. And it's going to be a series of tests for him as the season goes along. And a lot of people are watching the same video we just watched, and they're going to be trying to figure out his weaknesses. That will also be a test. How does he adjust to what other teams are trying to do to him?
Well, look at what this dream outfield has done since his arrival. And by the way, the last 2 games, these 3 hitting combined .455, but it seems to have even sparked Starling Marte.
Oh, he really, I think, for me, is sitting in that catbird seat. It's going to be a great situation for him. You have Polanco, who's going to be getting on in front of him with his speed. Nobody wants to pitch to McCutchen with runners on base. Marte is going to see some good pitches to hit. He's been seeing some good pitches to hit, and look what's happening. This is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for the game to start.
You know, Josh Harrison is back in the lineup. He had been doing a great job at the leadoff spot, but no way Clint Hurdle's going to change up the big 3. And coming up, Charlie Morton will take the hill. The Pirates have done good work here. 9 of their last 12 they've won in Miami. They try and keep it going next. post-game concert follows this ball game between the Pirates and the Marlins. Fat Joe, the rapper, will be performing following this game between the Pirates and the Fish. And Charlie Morton toes the rubber for the Buccos, Bob.
Well, Charlie last time out was outstanding. The command, control of that curveball was spot on, and it's become an incredibly important pitch for him, almost as important as that fastball, the sinker, is.
Charlie Morton will look to make it 2 in a row over the Miami Marlins, coming in with a fine ERA of 3.14 and looking for his 4th win and his 3rd straight victory. Let's send it back to the studios. Dan Potash with a game break. At Marlins Park, roof is closed. Very hot, humid afternoon here in Miami. We check out the Pirates lineup, and the Buccos offense has been hot since the 1st of May. Gregory Polanco last night, 5 for 7. He leads off. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen. So Hurdle keeps the 1-2-3 punch in there. He's got Gabby Sanchez hitting cleanup. Josh Harrison returns and bats 5th. Then it's Jordy Mercer, Pedro Alvarez, Chris Stewart, and Charlie Morton for the Pirates. Again, offensively, the Bucs as good as anybody in the league since around the 1st of May. Randy Wolf returns to the major leagues. The 37-year-old veteran recently signed on with the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins had a little bit of pitching problems in the starting rotation. They went and picked him up, and he's doing a decent job for him. 4.15 ERA. There is nothing wrong with that. But he doesn't really have that. Well, he never really was a power guy, but it's even a little less now after he's gone through the Tommy John surgery at such a later date in his career. But he's a battler. He's always been very athletic, a competitor out on the mound, and he's going to give you everything he's got.
This is his 4th straight start, his 6th appearance. They started him out in the bullpen as he got built back up in terms of the big leagues. He was pitching for the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Randy Wolf had made the Seattle Mariners rotation out of spring training, then got involved in a little dispute as the Mariners, in his mind, kind of went back on the contract he had signed. They asked him to sign a 45-day advance consent release form, and he refused. They released him. He hooked up with the Diamondbacks, and as Bob said, when they had trouble in their rotation, mainly with Jose Fernandez going on the DL, they signed the veteran Randy Wolf, who faces the rookie Gregory Polanco, and the first pitch a strike. Grounded to the second baseman. 4-3 for call to Garrett Jones. And Polanco is retired, playing in his 5th major league game.
I'll be watching to see exactly what the Marlins do with Polanco today as far as pitch locations. He handled the ball down pretty well against them last night, obviously. The home run pitch wasn't low at all, but kind of mid-thigh. But a few of his other base hits were not bad pitches. He just went with them, served him out the left field.
Marte collecting 4 hits last night, scored 3 runs, 2-run first inning homer. He has a nice little 5-game hitting streak going. Had a couple of infield singles. Very impressive, the Polanco, Marte, McCutchen troika. One ball and 2 strikes. We were wondering, Bob, last night on the radio side, what would happen, what will happen when Josh Harrison returns. And as we arrived in the clubhouse, Jay Hayes' name was in the lineup, but no longer leading off. He's in the 5th spot.
Which I'm sure doesn't bother Josh at all. He just wants to be in that lineup. Like care where.
And another hit for Marte. He really looks like a completely different player the last few days, Starling Marte.
He's got a little bit of that confidence back, and it wasn't just the hitting with him that was going downhill. He was making a lot of mental mistakes out in the field and on the bases, and I think he just was down on himself, and his buddy getting called up, and a few other good things have happened to him. And game of baseball, there's a game every single night. You can turn things around for yourself so quickly.
McCutchen with a fly ball hit deep to right center field toward the wall and caught by Stanton. McCutchen gave it a ride, and Stanton tracked it down right at the wall.
That's got to be about 400 feet right there. That's very deep ballpark, especially dead center and out to right field. Tough to get a home run, especially opposite field. When challenging with a fastball the outside half.
Wolf thought it was gone. His reaction.
Well, long ways out there.
Big ballpark. McCutchen hitting .324 best in the league. Drives one to the wall in right center. Here's Gabby Sanchez. Sanchez returning to Miami, the former Marlins pick out of the University of Miami. Was 0 for 3 last night. Whoa, and Wolf had Marte for a brief second frozen. .37-year-old native of West Hills, California. Former second-round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in 1997. He makes his 21st career start against the Pirates. Missed all of last year after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Bob, if you're a left-hander that has any success at all in the major leagues, you can hang around for a while.
I was thinking about his being 37 years old, coming off Tommy John. A lot of guys would have Said, I'm not going to go through the Tommy John surgery, do all the rehab at my age. But then again, you know, the financial rewards are huge, and if you are left-handed, you know you're going to get more than one opportunity to make a comeback with somebody. You've just mentioned that this season alone he's been with 3 different organizations, so the opportunities are going to be there.
I guess in a way you have to admire him for refusing the Mariners' opportunity, and a base hit to center field for Gabby Sanchez puts runners at first and second. A couple of singles off Randy Wolf here in the first.
And we'll see how Jay fits into that spot in the lineup a little further down than he's used to. Comes up in an RBI situation.
Last time out for Wolf, by the way, at Wrigley Field. He gave up 9 hits in 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs. As the Cubs won at 5-2. Harrison was out with some ankle soreness. He's right back in the lineup. Came out of a Wednesday night's game against the Cubs in the 3rd inning with that left ankle discomfort. In his 31 starts, batting over 300. Ground ball to the shortstop. Echeverria will throw to second for the force. Pirates get a couple of men on, couple of hits from Marte and Sanchez. And now Charlie Morton to the hill.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go Bucks!
Heading to the bottom of the 1st inning, the Pirates do not score in the top half. Pirate fans look on and they watch Charlie Morton make his 14th start. Rafael Furcal shows bunt.
Charlie's numbers on the season, pretty darn good. Not doing much wrong except the wins. Tough to get the W's. A lot of errors are hurting him early on. Give up a lot of unearned runs.
His 3 wins, by the way, have come in his last 4 starts, so maybe that even turning a bit for him. He falls behind 2-1. Last start on Monday against the Cubs, 7 innings, 1 run. Furcal makes his 2nd straight start after beginning the year on the disabled list.
He looked a little shaky in last night's comeback game.
0 for 6 and did not make a defensive play. And he is caught looking to start the bottom of the first inning. Rest of the lineup brought to you by Honda. Reed Johnson, the veteran, will be coming to the plate, and then it's Giancarlo Stanton. Casey McGee follows. Former Pirate Garrett Jones hit 100 home runs in his years with the Buccos. Marcel Ozuna, J.T. Realmuto, Adeiny Echeverria, and Randy Wolf for Mike Redmond's Marlins. They are 34 and 32 on the year, and they have one of the best home records in the league. Johnson had a big 2-run single in the wild 4-run 9th inning last night for the Marlins that tied the game. One and 2. 4 and 3 and 8 career starts against the Marlins for Charlie Morton. In and out of Stewart's mitt. Johnson just able to hang in there. He came in last night early in the ball game for the injured Christian Yelich, the starting left fielder. Still bothered by a strained back. And Morton, another breaking ball that hits Reed Johnson. 14 batters he has plunked.
See, that breaking ball, it just missed by a mile of where he's trying to throw it. And when you see that, you kind of like, what?
Why?
Yeah, why? Because the 5 days ago, everything was perfect with that curveball. He could throw it just about anywhere he wants. And we're not talking about, well, he made a mistake, he hung one. He made a mistake and missed way in on the wrong side of the plate.
And putting a man on for Giancarlo Stanton. Get to the Rivers Casino tips to win.
Charlie, just like last time, I want to see the good control, especially that curveball that we just talked about. Back above water, got a chance to get to the 500 mark. I think that's a nice psychological thing for the team after that horrible start in April. It just kind of got everybody behind the 8 ball immediately, having to dig out of that hole. And these guys, wow, what a disaster last night. 6 walks in that horrible inning where they gave up the lead to send us into extra innings. They are, as we know, way better than that. Hopefully they'll get a chance to go out and prove themselves tonight.
So the one guy that stood out last night from a positive standpoint out of that bullpen, certainly Jeanmar Gomez. He really righted the ship. Ball and strike on Stanton. Triple shy of the cycle last night. National League leader in homers and RBIs. 8th in hitting. Two 1 count. What a player he is. What a hitter.
There's the location with that curveball. It starts off the plate inside, ends up off the plate outside, sweeps the entire plate. I know it's impossible to throw it right there every single time, but within maybe 7 or 8 inches of that spot every single time, that's what he needs to do, and that's really what he did in his last start. And there are times where he wants to move it a little further away, or maybe he wants to actually move it on to the outside part of the plate because he needs to throw a strike with it. But to miss 2 feet outside and in the dirt, or 2 feet inside and hit somebody. That is, what we've seen from him occasionally in the past, and he's got to get away from that.
Stanton rips this ball, tries to keep it fair. A line drive, rope. Fouled off.
Well, this is one of the most impressive things I've seen him do. I mean, that was kind of a hanging curveball, but the league this year, Greg's hitting 105 off Charlie's curveball when they put it in play. Wow. Nobody hits his curveball that hard, and that was an absolute bullet.
Runner goes again on the 3-2 pitch. He walked Stanton, so he hit Reed Johnson. Now he walks Giancarlo Stanton, and he'll face Casey McGee. Clint Hurdle decided last night to walk Stanton to load the bases. Marlins had runners at first and third, 2 outs. To load the bases for Casey McGee. Brought in Mark Melancon. Melancon walked him, forcing in the tying run. Hurdle said there was just no way I was going to let Stanton beat us. He's so dangerous. McGee has been dangerous in these situations. The top hitter in the National League with men in scoring position. The former Pirate takes ball 1. Eight-game hitting streak for him. Morton retired for call on strikes, and early trouble for the Bucco right-hander. And that could be and will be a double play. Right to Josh Harrison, just like that. 4-3. Ground chuck. 0-0. Alive, beating the Reds, Game 5, 1990 NLCS on Root Sports Classics. See this legendary game, exclusive interviews and game stories from Jim Leland, Ray Miller, Jay Bell, Rich Donnelly, Bob Walk, and Doug Drabick himself on Drabick Stymies Cincy, 1990 NLCS Game 5, Monday at 7 on Root Sports. Can you tease us at all, Bob, with what you said in this Root Sports Classic?
No, you're going to have to tune in.
Really?
Check it out.
You won't even give us that? Just a little nugget. Nothing.
No teasing whatsoever. That was the tease you just saw.
I mean, you're here. You could provide us with some little bit of info. Nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
Jordy Mercer. Do you remember anything about what you said?
No, I have no idea.
That's all I'm getting at.
I know. I knew you were going to drag it out of me.
Mercer takes a strike. It's 1-1. He was 1 for 6. The RBI last night.
Yeah, the way that inning ended, Greg, that's just kind of a vintage situation for a guy with a good sinker ball. That it's a lot easier to get out of those rough spots.
Mercer puts a charge into one. Jordy Mercer hits one out of here. Mercer me. Barely clearing the left center field wall for his 4th of the year, and it's 1-0 Pirates.
The offense just keeps coming along a little bit more. You know, Mercer had that really rough start with the bat. For about a month now, he's been hitting much better. Goes out. Look where that pitch was. It was just down a little bit above the knees. Went down and got it.
Now Pedro Alvarez.
Almost hit the home run feature.
He sends Johnson and Ozuna back. Johnson looks up, just clearing that left field ball. This can be a tough yard to judge the home runs. It's normally a hitter's yard. We had to kind of wait for that call.
The domes for me always it takes a while to get used to them.
Strike called. The dimensions and various outfield wall heights.
You see that the 420 and the 392 dimension really what makes this ballpark different from a lot of other ones. You don't see 392 to pretty much a straightaway part of the outfield, and then you get all the way out there to center field where it's 420. That's where the park really plays big. From their bullpen to the home run feature. Did we ever figure out what the official name is for the home run feature?
That was it.
Oh, that was it.
And now Pedro Alvarez singles the other way off the lefty Randy Wolf.
Echeverria playing up the middle, took advantage of it. Took the ground ball the other direction. Teammates for a while.
Pedro Alvarez, the other corner, that infield with Garrett Jones at first base. A few seasons. Chris Stewart takes ball one. We'll see Russell Martin back in the lineup tomorrow. Vance Worley will make his Pirates debut tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Charlie Morton is not easy to catch. If you're a little fatigued from the night before, that can't be a lot of fun. You got to be fresh to catch Charlie. That ball moving all over the place. After extra innings, you can understand Russell getting the day off.
And just enough for Chris Stewart to get it over the head of the shortstop Echeverria. A ground single to left by Alvarez. A base hit over the shortstop's head by Stewart, and now Charlie Morton, who has 4 sacrifice bunts, will try and move the runners 90 feet.
Another ball that go down and get. There's been some pitches at the knees, but right now not doing an awful lot of good. Let's see if Charlie can move them all along. I think the at least the last couple of games, it looks like the sacrifice bunting is finally making some inroads. It's getting a little bit better.
Morton toward third, and nobody at first. Nobody at first base. McGee looked up and saw first base completely vacated.
But you know what? I don't think the problem was right here. They had a pickoff on. There was, because when McGee picked the ball up, he expects somebody to be he's expecting Echeverria to be at third base. Now watch when he picks up the ball. He's going to turn and look to third. He thinks that's very. See him look over at third base.
That's Chavarria. Just you see him stop.
He did not move. So it was either supposed to be a pickoff at second base, or it was a wheel play, and Garrett Jones should have stayed home.
Manager Redmond not happy. A bunt single for Charlie Morton, and here is Polanco. First hit of the season for Charlie Morton, and there's a bouncing ball to second. They will get one. No chance to get Polanco, who picks up an RBI and gives the Pirates a 2-0 lead.
Someday, somebody is going to throw to first on a play like that. Ball just pulled on the ground. There's no chance of getting a double play whatsoever. You're only going to be able to get one of them. One of these days, somebody's going to elect to leave the pitcher out there and get the greyhound.
That would be interesting, because they did have the choice there. If they wanted, they could have gone ahead and erased Polanco, allowing Morton to go to second.
No, you know, I think that it probably is not a good move, because you have a runner in scoring position. But you know, as we saw last night, there are times where maybe you do that. You know, because of other factors.
Well, Wolf is certainly concerned about
if
Polanco.
Polanco steals this pitch. Now, if it was Marte, the way he steals, I would have certainly, because I would expect Marte to be at second base soon. Now, Wolf has a very good move, so it's not going to be easy for Polanco. He's never seen him before. But if he steals second, then you're really kicking yourself. Oh, we should have just got Polanco and left Morton out at second. Now you got a speedster at second base.
With first and third, they look for a double play ball from Marte. The Pirates get the break with Charlie Morton putting down the bunt toward third. McGee, a brief look toward third, nobody there. A look toward first, nobody there. So somebody messed up. The Pirates taking advantage of it. A big swing and a miss.
They really waited on that one. He got a hanging off speed pitch, swung through it.
Bob, explain again what you think this
well, Echeverria, the shortstop, should have been running to third base, whether it was a wheel play or a pickoff. Either way, he's going to be going to third base. Now, if it was a wheel play, Garrett Jones can't be, charging in. But what makes me think it was a pickoff. We're going to get the double play. Good thing they got Morton. Huh?
Well, I'll say 6-3.
That's why you don't do that. Right?
Just like you were saying.
Yeah.
And they get the break because of some defensive mishap here.
Okay, now you see Garrett charging. Second baseman goes to the bag. If that was a pickoff, you're trying to break the shortstop to third. You run the second baseman in behind, and you're trying to influence the runner. You pick him off. If it was a kind of a hybrid wheel play, then you have to have the first baseman, who's Garrett Jones, stay back. If it's a full-on wheel play, both middle infielders, they break hard to the corners. Everybody crashes. So the first and third has to be covered. Those are the two bases that have to be covered. They really didn't cover either one. I mean, it was amazing to watch, and they're talking about it right now. It was almost like they had three different plays in mind, not just somebody thought it was something else. They almost had three. It could have been a pickoff, could have been a wheel play, and you know, McGee crashing in from third right there. It had nowhere to throw the ball. Nobody at third, nobody at first.
That was wild.
But you can't really say, you know, that Garrett Jones was wrong, because if it was the basic wheel play, well, then Garrett's supposed to be all over him in there.
In his first year with the Marlins, four and a half years with the Pirates. Bucks had signed him as a minor league free agent. He came up with the Twins and had some solid years with the Pirates. 27 home runs 2 years ago, drove in 86.
He hit 3 years in a row with 20 or more home runs. Well, that's significant production.
Marlins have talked about the guys that they brought in to improve a very weak offense, and Jones being one of them. Jones and McGee helping that clubhouse atmosphere. A couple of the veterans, and here you see the last 3 years for Garrett Jones. Worst offense in the league last year. They brought in him and McGee and Rafael Furcal and Jared Saltalamacchia, the catcher, who's currently on the disabled list. Those four players for a combined $32.85 million to help Mike Redmond, and statistically speaking, it really has helped. It's been a big leap forward for the Marlins. They came in second in the league in hitting, behind only the Colorado Rockies. The pitching has slipped a bit this year.
Yeah, they've lost their ace. That's really a huge blow for an organization like this. Any of your franchises with smaller resources, as we know, when you lose a star player, whether it's on the field or a star in that rotation, then it is so difficult to make up for that.
Robbie Smokowski has more on what the manager said about losing Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, it was quite a transition. You're talking about a team that had a 100-loss season a year ago. They're dealing with limited payroll, and now they lose Jose Fernandez to the Tommy John surgery. Go ahead, Greg.
And Marte not going to be able to catch this one. Pop shot into shallow left for Garrett Jones. Robbie?
I asked manager Mike Redmond how he's able to keep their spot in the race despite all this. And he said anyone who's played baseball that has been on teams, we've all been on teams where you've lost your best player. And he likened it to 2007 when he was with the Twins and they lost Francisco Liriano to Tommy John surgery. He thought that was maybe their best chance of getting deep into the playoffs with Johan Santana and Liriano as their 1-2 punch on the mound. And he added the games keep going on, and you don't get a week off to feel sorry for yourselves in baseball. But the guy on the mound today, they have Randy Wolf. He was brought in to bridge that gap with Jose Fernandez, and thus far they've hung in there pretty good, Greg. And
Robbie, I guess Henderson Alvarez has certainly helped. He is 7th or 8th, I think it is, in the league in terms of earned run average. So that's been a lift for the Marlins. We'll see Henderson Alvarez face Vance Worley tomorrow.
Yeah, the thing is, when you lose somebody like that, you know, Robbie's right. There's a game tomorrow. So what are you going to do?
Right.
Go home?
Yeah.
You got to come out. You got to play. You got to do the best you can. You can't think about it now. When the season's over, you can there's plenty of time then to start saying, well, the what ifs. What if we wouldn't have had the injuries? We got off to such a good start. We could have done this. We could have done that. But during the season, there's no time for that.
When Fernandez went down May the 9th, the starters were 11-8 with a 3.22 ERA. Since then, they are 9-12 with an ERA over 4.70.
What purpose does it serve at that point that, oh, we lost our best player for the season? Why even really talk about it other than maybe the next couple of days? And that's it. You turn the page. You try to find somebody else to pick up some slack. I mean, the Pirates have had their issues, obviously, and what are you going to do about it? You just hope you have somebody like a Polanco you could go to, bring up. And it's all about the having the replacement parts, quality replacement parts in that minor league system.
Well, a base hit and a walk to start this inning.
Now, this is certainly not the Charlie Morton that we saw 5 days ago. And it's control.
2 on, nobody out. Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker. Walker, before he went on the DL, playing all-star caliber baseball, vote up to 25 times, help make them starters in this year's all-star game in Minneapolis. Plus, get a buy one get one free ticket offer when you vote online. Go to pirates.com/vote and vote for your favorite Buccos. Two on, nobody out. Here is JT Realmuto, 3 for 13 since his call up from Double-A. We mentioned that Jared Saltalamacchia is on the disabled list. And Stewart tries to settle down Charlie Morton.
That was a fastball, 92 miles an hour. A first pitch fastball, and watch where this one ends up. It's supposed to be inside too, by the way. And it is
visit
way low and way outside. I mean, he like duck hooked it. Yeah, Ray's got to be going, what is going on? This is like so different from the way he had been.
I could be wrong there, but we didn't see Ray's face, but body language looked as though that was not a pat on the back type of Ray Searage. Looked like that might have been a little more forceful.
The Pirates up by 2 runs and get that cushion. He starts throwing strikes. Look at here.
Whatever you said, Ray. Turns it into a double play.
That's a beautiful thing. Just before Mercer's home run, I was talking about the sinker ballers. The huge advantage they have. You can turn an inning around instantly with a right ground ball. If you can just get someone to hit a ground ball at somebody. Even a sinker that's belt high.
Nice play by Mercer to go up and get it. Charlie Morton gets the 4.63 DP. He now faces the 8th man in the order, Adeiny Echeverria. Two for 5 last night for Echeverria. Bouncing ball right to Harrison.
That easy.
The start to the inning, a base hit and a walk. Ray Searage visits. Bang, bang. Inning over.
is brought to you by the Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
2-0 here as Charlie Morton got out of that little early jam, gave up the hit and the walk, and that prompted the visit. Ray Searage went out and said something kind of sternly, it looked like, and after that last out was recorded, Russell Martin will fist bump there with pitching coach Ray Miller, Ray Searage, and Neil Walker also gives him a little bit of a high five.
Russell probably wanted to know what you tell him. We can maybe say the same thing in future date.
That's right. Put it in the file.
Something worked.
Andrew McCutchen hit a ball to the wall in right center field in the first inning. One ball, one strike on McCutchen with Gabby Sanchez on deck. And another hit. Andrew McCutchen extends his hitting streak to 10 straight games.
7 hits now. I think we're going to see that Marlin bullpen low on the early side. Has that feel to it. Wolf's going to have to do something in a hurry to get this turned around.
Bullpen has been used a lot over the past week. The starters not giving Mike Redmond 6 innings or more very often. Gabby Sanchez singled up the middle his first AB, and he takes ball 1 from Wolf.
That really is a problem all around baseball, I think. We see starters not being able to go very deep, and bullpens constantly involved.
Two and 0.
You found a nice nugget today about guys going deep in games, didn't you? Something about this date in history type.
Oh my gosh, is that unbelievable?
We'll have to talk about that later. It's a tease.
Wolf worries about McCutchen.
As he should. Catch when he wants to get down to second base fairly quickly.
In the air toward right, and this ball is foul by a couple, maybe 4 inches. Stanton lumbering over, had no shot. That would have been fun to watch.
He was kind of angling, back a little bit actually, because he's thinking, if this is fair, I'm going to have to go down and pick this one up. I'm not going to catch it. Almost. Wolf got a break on that one.
And there for a strike.
Big slow curveball.
68 miles per hour. Last time Wolf faced the Pirates was June 1st, 2012, and the Pirates scored 6 runs in 6 innings off of him. And now 3-2 on the veteran Gabby from the veteran Randy Wolf, who pitched 2.5 years with the Brewers.
Taking his time now.
Yeah,
he's
really
not sure what to do.
Pick off. And McCutchen back standing. No tag from Jones. Wolf had some solid seasons with the Phillies. He was 16-10 in 2003. Went to the Dodgers, time with the Padres, Astros, back to the Dodgers. They're going on the 3-2 pitch. It's ball 4, and now Wolf looks very discouraged. Well, we want to see how you root for the Pirates. Our AT&T fan photo of the day. Show us how you root for the Buccos and how maybe you wear your Pirate pride. Tweet us your photo. Use the hashtag BucsFanPhoto, and we'll show them during our broadcast. The AT&T fan photo.
There's a lot of Pirate unis in the crowd. Ton of them last night.
Ball 1.
Getting some bad body language from Wolf.
We really are.
He is about to throw in the towel, looks like.
Up to shallow left center field, and that is going to be caught by the center fielder Ozuna. Held up long enough for him to track it down.
And that's got to be a pitch that Josh would love to have back. Big, slow, hanging, breaking ball right down the middle. Now, if that ball goes out, Greg, I made that one bad pitch.
So that's the quote after the game.
Yeah. There are so many pitches in the heart of the strike zone that don't go out of the ballpark. But you don't remember those. Just remember the ones that do.
Well, the Mercer at bat in the second.
Think about that pitch right there.
Yep.
It's an 89 mile an hour fastball, middle of the plate, just right about belly button high. I just pointed that out because it's just, I always kind of smile when I hear pitchers say, oh, I made a bad pitch. A bad pitch? No. One of your many bad pitches went over the fence.
You got away with a lot of the
everybody
mistakes
does.
that you made.
You could throw a no-hitter, and I guarantee you threw some right down the middle that you got away with.
2 balls and a strike, 2 on, 1 out. Bucks up by a couple. Mercer homered in the second. Hits this one in the air to right. Giancarlo Stanton. McCutchen will move up 90 feet. 2 outs. So Stanton makes the play on the fly ball to right field, and after a base hit and a walk, Wolf gets 2 fly ball outs from Harrison and Mercer, and Pedro Alvarez, who singled the other way in the second inning. Wolf has given up 3 home runs this season. 25 innings.
Take another one of those ground balls to the left side. Alvarez hit last time. That's very playing right where he is now.
Real Muto with the block and checking in with Wolf. Hit his back foot.
Ankle block. Not exactly the way they draw it up, but it worked.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought Wolf was, well, I didn't. I thought for sure Wolf was on the ropes. A pitch away from getting out of this.
.92.
Yeah, where'd that one? Where's he been hiding that? Tried to hump up with one and no command of it, I think, because he tried to hump up on it. Fastball, ended up bouncing it outside. He's been throwing 88, 89, most of his fastballs. Boy, he has really slowed things down this inning, taking forever in between pitches, walking around, thinking about it. That's it.
And gets Alvarez to chase the high fastball. He does get out of it. Pirates leading it 2-0. He was on this date, June 14th, 1992. Andy Van Slyke goes 2 for 3, scores a couple runs. He had the game-winning RBI with a sacrifice fly. He gave the Pirates a 5-4 win over the Mets in New York. 5th straight win for the Pirates. Doug Drabick went 7 1/3 innings. Denny Nagel got the victory, however, in relief. On this day in Pirates history, and Bob talked about a day in baseball history 40 years ago today. Nolan Ryan, 235 pitches on this day.
That is amazing.
And
235.
And struck out 19. And by the way, the guy that opposed him, Louis Tiant, went 14 1/3 innings. So the question is, which I posed today to Clint Hurdle, Bob, was about what we were kind of discussing on the radio side last night about it's almost becoming a thing of the past, the complete game.
Right. Yeah. It has become a thing of the past.
And you know, the Pirates have none. I think 5 teams in the National League have no complete games. And Hurdle pretty much agreed. When asked about, again, Locke last night in particular, going 8 innings and not able to complete the game, he said, if somebody has that crystal ball that they're walking around with, they can give it to me. This after, of course, the bullpen gives up the lead, 4 runs, after Locke exited after 8 innings. Just a situation where, you know, managers prefer to go to a bullpen to lock down games rather than have the starter try and complete it, go the distance.
I asked somebody one time, I wish I could remember now who. Could have been Chuck Tanner. It was somebody like that. About, do you think games in Major League Baseball would be managed differently if they would have never invented the save stat? And the answer was absolutely.
Bouncing ball, nice pickup, and because the runner had to wait until the ball got past, Josh Harrison will get the lead man. In this case, the pitcher Randy Wolf.
Like a splitter. Charlie hasn't been throwing too many of those. Got it down, got another one of those ground balls. Jay Hay with the excellent play going into the hole. Good instincts too, realizing, as you said, that the runner had to hold up, so he was still going to have that, at least that force out at second base. Keep the runner out of scoring position.
I guess it would have been way too big of a risk, because it is the pitcher, for Harrison to throw to first on that play. Again, a gamble. No.
Yeah, you are volunteering, probably, even in that case, probably letting a guy get to second base, even though he is a pitcher. And Wolf, even though he's 37 years old, I mean, if you, especially if you went back to say when he was 30, I don't want him on base, because he's very athletic, good base runner. We're talking about your typical pitcher. I think it's a big advantage to have a regular player out there on the bases at second base, especially a top of the lineup regular player, somebody with the great speed, than a pitcher out there who is going to be one of the slower guys on your team.
I guess if Furcal steals second, then we're back to.
But then if
the idea.
But then if Johnson hits into a double play, you know,
right.
it's all a bunch of well, what Clint was talking about, crystal ball work.
Yeah.
If you knew what was going to happen, it'd be a lot easier to make these decisions.
Furcal used to be one of the better base stealers in the league. Now at the age of 36. Spent the whole season up until last night on the disabled list. One ball, two strikes on Reed Johnson. Looks as though Morton starting to throw more strikes. And takes care of Reed Johnson.
Yeah, boring that two-seamer in on him. That movement, that ball just jumping down and in.
MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Pirates.com for details. Here is Giancarlo Stanton. If you're looking for early MVP candidates, he certainly is in the discussion. League leader in homers and RBIs. Came in tied for 8th in hitting. He is certainly a big reason why the Marlins, despite last night's loss, still 34 and 32 on the year, and only a game back of the Atlanta Braves and Washington Nationals in the National League East.
I don't know how they can maintain that, though, Greg, with the starting pitching starting to go the other way for them. And it's a nice story. I'm pulling for him, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Into shallow right, and Polanco coming on to make the catch. Charlie Morton gave up the leadoff hit, got the next 3, and after 3, 2-0 Pittsburgh. When you think about that, and Bob was Mike Schmidt's teammate for a time with the Philadelphia Phillies, and pretty remarkable. All the great hitters in Phillies history, Mike Schmidt at the very top, that today Jimmy Rollins passes Mike Schmidt.
Well, yeah, one of the things you have to do, and it's extremely rare nowadays when we're talking about how rare complete games are, how rare is it to have players stay with one team their career, and that's what you have to do if you want to get one of those big numbers like that. As far as the all-time hits leader, you got to make a career wearing that same hat. And of course, Schmitty, the one thing that doesn't really jump to your mind when you think of him as base hits, he's more of a home run guy. I was kind of surprised when it was Schmidt that had that record, but Rollins, a heck of a player, really a multiple tool guy. Maybe not a home run hitter, but certainly, especially younger, he really had some pop in that bat. Great defensive work, super speed, good base runner. I mean, he was the complete player for a long time, and well deserved getting that record.
2-1 on Chris Stewart. And who knows how long, much longer, Jimmy Rollins will be a Philly. Chris Stewart takes a ball. The Phillies with a record of 28 and 37. They have so it would be the 3rd worst record in the National League.
An older team for sure. That
Stewart, an opposite field single. He's 2 for 2 past Garrett Jones.
Quickly finish up, an older team for sure that I think eventually has to be dismantled, and as you get by the trading deadline, that they're going to get a lot of talk about certain Philly guys going in different directions. That's going to be one of the teams that probably be highly scouted to see who's got something left, who can help for a stretch drive.
That's probably going on, I would think, now.
Oh yeah,
building up for that deadline, July 31st. So within the next month or so, we're going to start hearing again. Rollins, is he available? Utley, Howard. Bunted by Charlie Morton. Wolf thought about second. Instead goes to first. Sacrifice accomplished. 1-3.
Two just great bunts by Charlie.
He got a bunt hit out of the last one. And here he moves Stewart into scoring position.
Getting these bunts down in the proper direction is 90% of the battle. Now, first time he put it down to third. In this scenario here, you have to go to first base because Garrett's got to hold the runner on. You can see some of Wolf's athleticism as he pounced on that baseball, even at the advanced baseball age of 37.
He's been able to retire the young rookie twice on ground balls to second. Gregory Polanco, who had 2 hits last night against lefties, including the game-winning home run. A night for the ages for Gregory Polanco through 4 big league games. Second rookie since 1900 to have 5 or more hits and a game-winning homer in extra innings. Willie Montañez, the last to do that in September of 1971. Five hits and a home run in a game. Quicker than any player in the modern era since 1900. Mike Lansing of the Expos back in 1993 previously held that record. He had 5 hits and a homer in his 5th big league game, but Polanco did it in his 4th. It really is fun to watch each game, each at bat for this guy. And your chance to see him and the Pirates comes up Tuesday night, a 3-game series, a 3-game homestand against the Reds. So the first Pirates rookie with 2 game-winning RBIs in his first 4 games since 1958. First Pirate rookie with 5 hits since Neil Walker went 5 for 5 almost 4 years ago. He surpassed John Wehner last night by collecting 5 hits earlier than any Pirate had.
Kind of like the Rollins Schmidt thing.
That's it. Exactly right.
You don't think it's ever going to happen, but eventually it does.
When Wehner did it back in 1991, he did it in his 5th game. A 5-hit contest.
Yeah, Rock, we're talking about your 5 hits.
Ho hum.
5. Yeah. He's going to pretend he was waving, but he was putting up the number 5.
Oh, yeah. And what did he say to us on the bus that Jim Leland said to him that night? That you're starting again tomorrow? Something like that.
Yeah. He's embarrassed.
No, he's not.
Well, the old one of Leland's comments about it is you put those 5 hits together, they wouldn't have reached Polanco's home run. I think a couple of them might have been little bloopers.
He'll readily admit it. And there's the first walk in Gregory Polanco's career.
Yeah, you get 5 in a game, I guarantee you a couple of them are going to be, seeing eye ground ball or a blooper. But 5, that makes up for those line drive outs.
That's right.
He's going to get also later on. All evens out.
Do you think that John went out of his way to maybe jot a note down to Rob King on the TV side last night? Hey, I was the last guy to have 5 hits this early in the season.
No, I don't think John would do that.
No, I don't either. I'm just kidding.
I
just wanted to get a way in to thank Rob King.
He's really getting irritated.
Yeah, he is.
Now
he's not happy at all. Tim Nevert was back in Pittsburgh. One of his sons graduating from high school. So Tim is back alongside Rock. Ball 1 on Starling Marte. Marte has singled and bounced into a double play. Well, we thought that Wolf was on the ropes a bit last inning. as he started to slow things down, look around, and he's starting to do it again now with 2 on and 1 out. He just walked the rookie Polanco.
A lot of taking it easy, a deep breath here and there.
Comes back and gets Polanco to swing and miss. 2-1.
88 right down the middle. Point out another one of those pitches that didn't leave the ballpark.
.61 pitches on the night, 14 in this inning. Wow, that one even teed up better than the previous pitch. Look at this.
Didn't leave the ballpark.
Wow. Two and 2 on Marte. 2 fastballs right down the middle. This one is fouled away.
Straight pitches. And maybe Marte is just very concerned. He knows he's got that 60-something mile-an-hour pitch and just does not want to get out in front. He's overcompensating. He's staying back and waiting too long. And that 89 mile an hour fastball looks like it's 99.
Oh.
Yep, the slow one got him too, so that couldn't have been the answer. That was not a very nice at bat. I was wondering right now, how did that happen? Had a number of great pitches to hit and it didn't even foul him off.
McCutchen swings and misses the first pitch. 1 for 2. Hitting streak has reached 10 straight games. One and 1. His numbers during this hitting streak: 5 homers, 13 ribbies.
It's pretty good when you can put a 10-game streak together and 5 of them have been long balls. That's being hot.
Two and 1. As Wolf again appears to be laboring, but just struck out Marte. His second strikeout of the ball game. In the air to left. Deep. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. 3-run blast, and Andrew McCutchen's mom and dad and sister on hand to watch Kutch give the Pirates a 5-0 lead with a 3-run bomb.
Now, we haven't been doing much with fastballs down the middle and hanging breaking balls, but Kutch shows everybody how you're supposed to hit that hanging breaking ball coming in there at 60-some mile an hour. Hit it off to Clevelander.
Number 11 for McCutchen.
Watch this pitch. Big humpback curveball, real slow, hangs it up high. Pow, out of here.
So that's what you do with that pitch.
That's what you do with it. one hits way on the back wall by the Clevelander sign.
So McCutchen now 11 homers, 41 RBIs. His dad Lorenzo. Yes.
That's right.
Sister Lauren, I believe that's Lauren, and mom Patrina. In the air towards center field. Gabby Sanchez flies out to Ozuna. Andrew McCutchen's 3-run homer makes it 5-0 Pirates.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Furniture, proudly featuring solid wood American-made Amish furniture. For furniture that lasts, shop Levin. Let's go Bucks!
5-0 Andrew McCutchen's 3-run homer. His 11th of the season. Casey McGee at the plate. Our Barrel Automotive League leader stat. Charlie Morton among the league leaders in opponent slugging percentage. 4th lowest. Johnny Cueto, Adam Wainwright, Michael Wacha, Charlie Morton, Andrew Cashner.
Well, Charlie gets a lot of those balls that are hit on the ground, so those are almost always singles, so that's going to keep that number down. And his curveball has been almost unhittable. The old-fashioned batting average on that is way low, down by about 100. We're definitely going to have to find out what Ray told him on that visit. It wasn't a long talk, but it was effective.
Change up. Strikes out Casey McGee.
Splitter. Look at the bottom fall out of that. Greg, I think I told you that I watched about a month ago. I watched Charlie throw a look at the ball tumbling. Yeah, that's a great shot there when it slowed down. I watched a sideline of his, and he was throwing those splitters, and it was just like, my goodness. I mean, it's mid-80s, gets to the plate, dives down about 6-7 inches. I jokingly said, well, just next game, just throw 100 of those. Don't need anything else.
What was his reaction to you saying that?
Chuckled a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, it's. It was a great pitch, and just saw an example of what I saw him throw in the bullpen so often. It's just the ball comes in there, it's tumbling, it's got good velocity on it, and it just falls just before it gets to the strike zone. Tough to put in play.
Breaking pitch for a strike.
Got the hook. Now that's the kind of control that he had. Almost every curveball he threw the other night. Right on the knees.
Almost got him to chase a fastball.
At times Charlie will try to go upstairs with a fastball to see if he can get a swing and miss, check swing. He's not always thinking knees, sinker, ground ball.
Derek Jones, a little pop-up single to left field. His first time up against Charlie Morton. Fouls off the breaking ball again. G.I. Jones in Miami. Signed as a free agent. Close pitch, but ball 3, 3-2 the count.
Tries to throw one of those fastballs, tails back, catch the corner there. Just didn't move very much for him.
Pulled foul.
This is a ballpark that I would think they'd have a hard time attracting left-handed hitting guys with power type on that want to hit home runs. Big difference for Garrett. He looks out left field here and remembers what it looked like at PNC Park with the Clemente wall, nice and close.
He had a good at bat there. He walks, fouling off a number of pitches.
Yeah, that really made Charlie work. He took 10 pitches or 9 pitches out of his ammo bag.
It's the third walk. He's also hit a man. Marcell Ozuna takes ball 1. Stewart again motioning to Charlie Morton. Grounded fair inside the first base bag. Garrett Jones going to be waved home and headed to third base with a triple. Marcell Ozuna makes it 5-1.
Now that's why when we were talking about the slugging percentage earlier, and I said, well, most of the time ground balls are only singles. If you can tuck one inside a bag, it's going to go extra bases, and if it goes down into the right field corner, if you can run a little bit, you're going to have 3. Just rolling along the grass, but enough steam to make it all the way to the wall. Well, Polanco didn't have any trouble, just picked it right up barehanded. Still couldn't stop him though. It's a big play for Ozuna to get all the way to third. Now he can be able to score on just a routine ground ball to middle infielder. And the Pirates with the lead, they're going to play back.
Real Muto doing a 4-6-3 double play. 2-1. Kevin Slowey, the Upper St. Clair native, Listening in the bullpen for the Fish. Two and two. Count stays 2-2. Oklahoma native, third-round pick 4 years ago. His first taste in the big leagues, trying to get Ozuna home with the infield back, and he will. Mercer throws out Real Muto, makes it 5-2.
Early enough in the ball game, there were both teams, I think, are kind of happy with that result. The Pirates, they'll definitely go ahead and give up that run and trade it for an out, trying to stay away from any kind of a big inning. But then the Fish are thinking, well, you know, let's chip away a little bit. It's just the fourth. We'll be satisfied with one more run this inning. That'll make them feel like they're back into the ball game a little bit, being able to get something going.
Line to right field by Echeverria.
And that's going to be it for Wolf. It looks like we will see a new hurler.
Wolf called back to the dugout. Donovan Solano is going to pinch hit. So runner at first base. 2 outs. And Wolf out of the ball game. Redmond goes to the right-handed hitting Donovan Solano. Wolf goes 4. Gives up the 5 runs. Really had to work every inning. High chop. Mercer on to first. Nicely done by Jordy Mercer. Getting Solano on the high chopper. 5-2 Buccos.
Here at Marlins Park, and the Pirates basically have a South contingent here when you go down south to Miami in the form of a couple players and one of the coaches. Casey McGee spent the 2012 season with the Pirates. Garrett Jones, of course, we discussed, and Brian Marsh just traded when the Pirates were in Los Angeles. And Kevin Slowey is a guy you mentioned, Greg, a couple of moments ago from Upper St. Clair. He and his wife have a baby girl coming in October, building a new house in Upper St. Clair. Perry Hill, of course, the first base coach for the Marlins, spent a year with the Pirates as well. So a lot of unique connections going on down here. And Kevin and his father, Pat, avid Pirates fans, obviously growing up. But Pat follows both teams very closely, the Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So kind of a nice contingent, a lot of familiar faces to see down here, right?
Absolutely. There is Brian Morris, recently traded over to the Marlins. And Perry Hill. So Kevin Slowey is the first man out of the bullpen for Mike Redmond. He has these numbers, his second year with the Marlins. Former second-round pick of the Twins back in 2005. Faces Josh Harrison. 5 runs, 9 hits off the starter Wolf.
Not going to do that starter's ERA any good you were talking about.
Off the glove of Echeverria, base hit for Josh Harrison. And once again, Redmond doesn't get not only 6 innings, doesn't get 5 innings out of his starter tonight.
I don't think even if Echeverria makes that play with the glove, not going to bounce up. Throw out Jay.
See if Jay thinks about taking off. Yep, right away. And a fly ball down the line in right field. This is going to be trouble for Stanton. Jordy Mercer has another hit into second base with a double and throws towards second base. So Harrison will score. 6-2 Pirates. Double for Mercer.
And that ball he hit in the air, and Jay never hesitated. He just kept on going, thinking, hey, if he catches it, okay, they got a double play, but I'm on the move. I can make something out of this, and he did. Made a run out of it. Looked like a little first pitch hit and run. And Stanton never hesitated. He was going to go to second the whole time. You know, Stan's got that play in front of him. He sees it's a hit and run. He must have just figured in his mind, I'm not going to. I'm just going to concede the run.
Mercer doubles. And now Pedro Alvarez. Hit hard at the second baseman, and that will at least be a productive out, moving Jordy Mercer on to third.
That was his job. Get out there and hook something.
Mercer 2 for 3. Homered in the second. Doubles in a run here in the fifth. And the infield comes in. Strike is called.
This is just exactly what the Pirates would like to do after giving up those couple of runs in the fourth. The Marlins thinking, okay, we're back in the ball game. You take them right back from them. Get them down, keep them down. What'd Steve like to say? You brick a snake?
Yep.
Yeah, you gaff a fish.
All right.
Keep them down. Don't let them have any life. No live well for the fish.
Stewart has 2 of the 11 hits.
Let him lay there on deck for a while.
Oh,
that hurt.
He is plunked with a 2-strike pitch. Stewart on base for the third straight time. And for the third straight time, Charlie Morton going to be asked to bunt. It would seem, as he checks in with Nick Leyva.
Well, that's certainly the play. Hey, there's one out. You're a pitcher. You're supposed to move him in the scoring position.
Breaking ball got him on the shoulder. You saw Russell Martin. It's funny now, isn't it?
Well, being a catcher, you're getting hit like that 5 or 6 times a game anyway. It doesn't matter.
Martin on the bench chuckling. Morton pushes
that
that bunt. Runner breaks for the plate, and he will score. Chuck Tanner's favorite play, right? First and third bunt. The runner scores from third. Only this time the bunt goes to first.
No, that's not the Chuck Tanner play.
I say this time the ball's butted to first.
That was kind of
the
that
reverse.
Would be best described as a safety squeeze. Chuck Tanner play, you bunt the ball to third, follow the third baseman down the line as he fields the ball, and then you score on the throw to first. This is just a safety squeeze. You're going as soon as the ball is put on the ground.
Charlie Morton has been perfect with the bunts. RBI, 1 hit via the bunt in the second, sacrificed a runner to second in the fourth, and here gets an RBI bringing home Mercer, with Stewart going to second, and a 7-2 Pirates lead.
The bunting has just been absolutely perfect by Morton. You put on that safety squeeze just thinking that the ball is going to be down and nobody will be able to field it and throw home. The runner gets down the line. He sees the ball on the ground. You take off. I mean, he broke just as soon as the ball was on the ground.
Ball one on Gregory Polanco. He has grounded out twice and walked and scored a run. Pirates lead 7-2. Polanco takes the big swing. Robbie Innsmikowski has more on Gregory Polanco and his family.
Well, that is Apollonia Linares right there in the plaid shirt sitting to the right next to Gregory's cousin, taking a photo of him right now. This is the second time she is watching Gregory Polanco play a professional baseball game. The first time was last night when he hit his first big league home run. And what about the timing? Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, line drive base hit into center field. Runner's going to head for the plate. Here comes the throw. It's off the mark, and Gregory Polanco has an RBI single to give the Pirates an 8-2 lead. And his mom is loving it. And his cousin with the jersey.
Like fastball right down the middle. Polanco, this one elevated a little bit. We were talking about all of his hits last night have been kind of down. They were knee high or mid thigh. This one looked like it was up a little bit. Mom started waving the picture around. Have a jersey.
They're in from the Dominican Republic to watch Gregory Polanco play. Back downstairs to Robbie.
I asked her what it was like to watch Gregory hit his first big league home run with her own 2 eyes in person. She said, I cannot explain the amazing feeling. Now, Gregory asked if she could get to a game this season, so she went out and got a visa and a passport and just came here and decided to surprise him yesterday morning. So what a weekend it's been for Gregory Polanco. And there's Mrs. Linares right there talking on the phone, and a lot of action going on in that family this weekend, man. What a story this has been this weekend for Gregory Polanco.
Robbie, wasn't it? It goes back to a week. I think you talked to Gregory when he got the call up to the big leagues. He said his mom was the first person he called, and how important he is, and she is to him in his life.
And the one thing that Gregory said last night in his post-game interview, wearing the bubblegum bucket on his head, is that baseball he had authenticated after the ball game, took a photo with it in the locker. I think she's going to take that home back with her to the Dominican.
She's got the phone, the photo, the jerseys there. Marte swinging bunt foul. Polanco has in less than 5 games in the big leagues. He's done a whole bunch today. A walk and a run scored, RBI single. Gives him 4 RBIs early in his big league career. He has already scored 6 runs. And there he goes, looking for his first stolen base. Instead, he'll head to third on the base hit by Starling Marte. Marte's second hit. So the big 3 at it again tonight. Polanco, Marte, and McCutchen.
They are just pouring it on.
Polanco took off on the pitch.
They were trying to steal. He didn't really look, but he found the ball right away, knew where it was. And then as soon as he saw that it was going to be far enough or close enough to the infield that nobody could make a quick play on it, get it on one quick hop, and he just scooted on over to third.
Good to see that man smiling again. And now Andrew McCutchen, big 3-run homer last inning. He has 2 hits. Marte with a pair of hits. Polanco, RBI, hit, walk, run scored. Pirates have now collected 13 hits. McCutchen takes ball 1. Pirates have now collected at least 10 hits in 6 straight games. And in 6 games, they have scored 33 runs. Since May the 1st, they lead the majors in hits on base percentage. And all this was happening even before the arrival of Gregory Polanco. He's just added to it. And what an addition.
I want to see one more big hit here. 2 more runs in. I want to see Marte fly from first to home. Hit a gap shot.
2-2 pitch. All 3.
Hit a gap shot. Ooh, that might have.
Slowey did not get the call.
Might have been strike 3.
Stays 3-2. Let's listen to this. This last pitch. Oh, you okay? That's been happening, it seems, a lot the past week or so, where catchers are being hit by batters' backswings. McCutchen quickly turning and asking Realmuto if he was okay. Manny Machado knocked out a catcher recently. Did not check in with him. And the other day, somebody from the Rockies knocked out a catcher.
And didn't check in?
Didn't check in, see if he was okay.
Bad form,
seemed to be the natural thing to do, wouldn't it? So now they're loaded. And Gabby Sanchez is the 9th man to hit in the inning that started with Josh Harrison single to center, as the Pirates look to pour it on. They have scored 3 more here. Sanchez 1 for 2 with a walk. Takes ball 1. McCutchen adds to his National League leading walks total. 49 times he's drawn a free pass this season. He came in second in the league in on base percentage. And that's ball 2 and not close.
You got to throw him a strike. Nowhere to put him. Bases are jammed. With an 8-2 lead, at one point you got to just go after him.
Popped up.
Popped him up. Actually, that ball was up out of the strike zone high, I think, Greg.
Pirates send 9 men to the plate. They score 3 more. Lead 8-2. Polanco as he makes his major league debut. See how the Buccos have become the best in pinch situations and much more. A new Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network debuts tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Gregory Polanco. A lot of fun to watch. Having some fun with his mom in town. Seeing her son play in the major leagues for the first time. You get your chance to see Gregory Polanco, Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates Tuesday night. Brief 3-game homestand and series against the Cincinnati Reds. Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and then a Thursday afternoon matinee game. Ball tries to drop a bunt down.
What a thrilling last few days this has been for Polanco. Just the standing ovation for his first major league at bat in Pittsburgh. Everything going on there, and then to come down here and play in this atmosphere.
McCutchen with a sliding catch to Rob Furcal, putting on a show in Miami. Bunch of Pirate fans on hand here. You can hear them cheering on McCutchen and the Pirates.
Oh, they're everywhere right now. I like it.
His dad likes it. Driving over from Central Florida.
You know, I'm not sure. You see a lot of things over the years. Not sure I ever saw an outfielder make a diving catch, roll over and do a couple push-ups after he throws the ball in. That's pretty good.
2 strikes to count on Reed Johnson. And back downstairs to Robbie with more on Kutch's family.
Well, you got the Kutch family. So Lorenzo's here. He's coming next week when the Pirates play in Tampa for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games. We want to give a special shout out. If you saw the games in San Diego, may have heard from Lauren McCutcheon, Andrew's sister. This is the last game she's going to get to see this season, as she is headed off to Florida A&M University to pursue her degree in nursing. So we wish her the best. She's going to start with summer classes, graduated high school, some summer school, and catch Andrew one more time, and now she's ready to go, and that phone's going to start buzzing soon.
Oh, no doubt. McCutcheon family from Fort Meade, Florida, near Lakeland. One-two on Reed Johnson. He has been hit by a pitch and struck out. Three men on the left side of the infield. It'll be Josh Harrison who takes it.
Playing with a pair of shortstops over there.
Jay Hay back in the lineup.
It's not fair, is it?
Jordy Mercer has been doing a nice job. The glove and certainly the bat for the past month. And tonight, 2 hits, a homer, RBI double. Here is the big man, Giancarlo Stanton. He's walked and flied to right. Morton has not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Oh, struck him out looking. There's a 1-2-3 frame. 4 punch outs for Charlie Morton. 8-2 Pittsburgh. Manager Clint Hurdle, Pirates Charities and Root Sports have teamed up for Wins for Kids to raise money for the Children's Institute of Pittsburgh. For making a contribution of just $30 or more, fans will receive a specially designed Clint Hurdle autographed baseball. To make a donation at any level, go to pirates.com/winsforkids. There's a kid hoping for a win. A lot of kids hoping for a Pirates win. And Josh Harrison led off last inning with a base hit against Kevin Slowey. Swings and misses on the first pitch here in the 6th. Toward the right center gap, gets down. Stanton gets over to cut it off. Harrison back in the lineup and 2 more hits.
He has been a machine. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Didn't get it down. Got it about belt high. And lined to the right. Jordy with a home run, the long home run, double.
Pirates have 14 hits. They had 17 hits last night in 13 innings, matching a season high total. And also had 17 hits against the Blue Jays at PNC Park on May the 2nd. We're only in the 6th inning. Buddies Gregory Polanco and Starling Marte. They live very close to each other in the Dominican. They have played with each other in winter ball. Bounce to third. And around the horn double play. McGee to for call to Jones.
Nice job by call on that one. Came off that bag instantly. Chuck Quick for call comes off the bag after he makes that catch. Hops about maybe 2-3 feet in front of it.
Long-time shortstop.
I was gonna say, it looked like he's been playing second base his entire life. Watching him make that turn, but he's been a shortstop.
They brought him in to be their leadoff man and second baseman, but on the disabled list the entire season until last night.
Started off, I think, with a hamstring pull, and then in rehab it turned into a groin situation.
Ripped to right field for Alvarez. Pedro Alvarez, who singled off the lefty starter Randy Wolf in the 2nd inning, rips one to right field here in the 6th.
Hitters just teeing off to the, is this afternoon or yeah, it's afternoon game. What you say, or is this an evening game?
Started afternoon, so I think we'll probably stick. Well, it depends on what you want to say about it. Just gear it toward your comment. Make it work. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying that they were really teeing off, and then I would have said afternoon game, and then I thought, well, no, this is kind of an evening game, but
they're carrying it into the evening for sure. After 6 o'clock in Pittsburgh, I think you're evening time. Game that started at 4:10. There we are. So at evening time. Popped up. Shallow right. And Stanton makes the catch. Pirates lead tonight 8-2.
I think the fans and the Pittsburgh team believes they can win 3 in a row.
I don't think anybody really has appreciation for how hard it is to win a major league game at any point, let alone the playoffs.
And hear more from Jim Leland along with Ray Miller, Jay Bell, Rich Donnelly, Bob Walk, and Doug Drabeck as they share personal memories from Game 5 of the 1990 National League Championship Series. Hear their stories while watching the Pirates beat the Reds and keep their season alive. Drabeck stymies Cincy, Monday at 7 on Root Sports Classics. Here in Miami, the Pirates lead 8-2. Going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Casey McGee takes ball 1. And Weekly hit to second. Out number 1.
Yeah, it's kind of odd thinking about Charlie's game because there's been some parts of it where he just looked all out of sorts. The ball's not going where he wants to, but then other times, most of the times, he's just eating them up, making it look easy, getting ground balls when he wants, and really enjoying all this run support.
Garrett Jones sees the shift. Bounces it foul. Big Pirates fan, good buddy Judge Jack McVeigh, married today in Miami. He and Janine attending tonight's game. His new bride. Congrats to Jack. Hoping to see his Pirates get a W and reach the 500 mark. Clint Hurdle's club has not been at 500 since April the 17th. McCutchen tonight has hit a 3-run homer, singled and walked. Glad you could be with us wherever you're watching, any time zone. Maybe in Atlanta. Got a buddy named Andy watching.
What time zone is Atlanta?
It should be the Eastern
time zone.
That's the
Southern time zone, isn't it?
No, it's Eastern time zone. Why do you ask?
I was just wondering.
Just a public service. I said it's 6:10 in Pittsburgh. Why is that a big deal? It's 6:10 here in Miami. I wasn't suggesting that it wouldn't be 6:10 in Pittsburgh also. All right.
Well, I got a question for you, Rick.
Okay. Hold on. Let's watch Marte make the catch.
If you're giving the time for whatever reason you wanted to give the time, why wouldn't you just say it's 6:10?
For the fun of it. Well, just to let people know we're in Miami. They're in Pittsburgh. It's 6:10 in Pittsburgh. Do that all the time. When we're on the road, I do this all the time, regardless of the time zone. I just do it as a public service. No big deal. AT&T fan photo. 6:16 here.
And in Pittsburgh.
Yep. There you go. You're catching on. If it's a picture of a clock, that would be classic. Couple of strikes on Ozuna.
That's what I'm rooting for now.
Yeah, so am I. Let's go Bucks from Adam. Our AT&T fan photo as Charlie Morton strikes out Ozuna. 1, 2, 3. Go the Fish. out with the right shoulder fatigue, will throw a bullpen session tomorrow and then a simulated game probably on Wednesday, and that will be the big step. And if all goes well, he'll be right back in the rotation, probably against the Cubs or the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's good news. Pirates trainers Todd Tomczyk and Ben Potenziano. Congratulations to Ben. He's going to be going to the All-Star game on that training staff. Jeff Baker takes over at first base, and Brian Morris takes over, the former Pirate, traded for a draft pick a couple of weeks ago.
Brian, I think, had very high hopes for this season with the Pirates. Tried to increase his velocity, accomplished that. And now he's a Marlin.
Charlie Morton, back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Very efficient. He's retired 7 straight, so he'll bat here.
And a bunting machine today.
Bunt single in the second, sacrifice bunt in the fourth, and brought in a run with a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning. Oh, almost had a hit into center field. Wry smile there from Brian Morris.
Yeah, it looks like that would have got through. They were playing nice and wide in the infield. Almost, Chuck. He's already got his hit today. Has Charlie had a 2-hit game in his career?
Nope.
Awfully quick with that answer.
Polanco takes ball 1. Walked in 3 trips to the plate against the lefty Wolf. Single driving in a run against the right-hander Kevin Slowey, and now faces Brian Morris. He is seeing a bunch of different pitching. As Pirates have gotten to the bullpens of the Cubs and the Marlins.
This Pirate offense just continues to get better and better as this season gets deeper.
One and 2 on Polanco. We mentioned that the Reds will be coming to PNC Park for a 3-game series starting Tuesday night. The Reds and Brewers are meeting in Milwaukee tonight. They'll be getting underway in less than an hour. Pirates are 6.5 back now of Milwaukee in the Central, and 2 behind St. Louis. Second place Cardinals. And Polanco, after being behind in the count early, has now worked it full.
He's not afraid to take pitches. The quickest thing that stood out to me is the calmness of his bats, that he is not chasing things.
Bounces this one. Oh, nice stop by Furcal, but he'll have no shot. Infield hit for Polanco. Mom here to see it.
Hit him over the fence. He can flare the ball the other way. He can beat out ground balls for hits. His shown us a lot of different skills in a very short time. Long strides.
10 hits in 25 major league at bats. We've seen teams try and run against Brian Morse in the past. He has a good pickoff move. Pirates now with 16 hits, leading 8-2. Polanco was trying to steal a base in the 5th inning when Marte singled to right. Marte upset with himself, obviously.
Yeah, that looked like a swing from, say, a couple of weeks ago. Breaking ball that couldn't have ever really looked like it was going to be a strike. Look how far down and outside that ball is. Probably 8 inches off the plate, bouncing in that the other batter's box.
And Morris gets him.
This pitch here that he swings, and this is the only strike he saw the whole at bat, and that was just right on the very edge of the strike zone. He has to, one of the things that he's going to have to do, and he's got to show more discipline, because the pitchers, he has to think of it as what the pitchers are thinking. He doesn't realize what a predicament they are in when Polanco's on and McCutchen's on deck. They got to come to him. He has to be patient and not go after their pitches, because they have no choice. They fall behind 1-0, 2-0. They got to say, okay, here it is. You're going to be the guy that beats me, not the guy on deck.
Oh, and 1 on McCutchen.
When you swing at everything, you know, you're really aggressive at going up there and swinging the bad pitches out of the strike zone, and you have somebody like Kutch hitting behind you on the on deck circle, you're wasting it. You're wasting your spot in the lineup. You're not taking advantage of it, and that's what Marte needs to do, is take advantage of the fact that the pitchers are between that rock and a hard spot as far as where do they throw the ball? What kind of pitches do I throw in this situation? Can't be bouncing a lot of balls. Can't be throwing a lot of off-speed stuff. The catcher doesn't want to see that, because the catcher he's worried about Polanco, so he's more likely to throw down some fastballs. And the pitcher doesn't want to mess around and take a chance of walking anybody. He doesn't want to pitch to McCutchen when runners at first and second. So you're going to see the good pitches when you're in that number 2 spot.
McCutchen strikes out. The Pirates leading 8-2. Pirates batters have been giving opposing pitchers fits lately. This ball hit in the air to left field. That's going to drop for a hit. Real Muto, the catcher, his first hit of the night. Just the 5th allowed by Morton.
So he's got the century mark in pitches, which is the spot everybody comes out of games at nowadays, and the bullpen is going. So Charlie on a short leash, I'm sure, right about now.
Jared Hughes for the Pirates. Average per start 99.3 pitches. He's at 100 today. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a curveball. Able to break in there for a strike.
Still 1-2 on Adeiny Echeverria.
Morton would like to get the 7th in the book anyway. Seventh is the new 9th. What do you think, Greg?
Yep. Only 7 these days is like going 9 innings in the old days.
I think somebody will come up with a stat for that. You know, like they came up with the save. Somebody will come up with a 7-inning start. It'll be called something.
Strikes out Echeverria.
That's a great hit for him, that curveball. I'm getting real close to say that is his best pitch, and it's not the sinker. I mean, the only thing that keeps me from it is because of the command issues he has with it sometimes. Ever since Charlie came over here from Atlanta, we've always talked about the sinker and getting all the ground balls.
There's one. There's one. And 2. Double play. That sinking fastball. The double play.
That was a hook.
Charlie Morton back in the dugout, done for the night. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Charlie, head on in. It's Miller time.
And going back to the dugout, he's met by his teammates. Some high fives, some fist bumps, and hugs. Battery mate there, Chris Stewart.
Good night for Chuck.
Mike Davis will pinch hit for Gabby Sanchez. Davis retired.
Let's see if we can get a 3-hit night for Jay Hay.
Josh Harrison. You can always tell who's at the plate. You just watch those feet, watch the barrel of the bat. Goes through that routine after each pitch.
There was a couple little toe taps.
And the practice swing and the toe tap again. Strike. Two hits his last 2 times to the plate. Make it a 3-hit night for Josh Harrison.
Sir.
He's out of the leadoff spot. Doesn't matter.
He does not care. He just wants to be in the lineup. It wouldn't matter to him where he's hitting.
3 for 5.
Right down the middle and right back through the middle.
I said coming into this game about Harrison's numbers when he starts, making his 32nd start tonight and hitting probably close to 330 at this point. Jordy Mercer has a couple of big hits in this game. Pirates now with 17 hits for the 3rd time this season, and in back-to-back games. Of course, last night's contest went 13 innings. Two 2-0 on Mercer. Stormy Pimentel recently off the disabled list. Going to get some work in.
I'm looking forward to watching him pitch. I want to see what that velocity says.
Yeah.
Came up last year. He was a real strong power pitcher. Great numbers at AAA. They had a great season as a starting pitcher. And I thought that was going to be one of the first couple of guys when we were talking about starting depth when the season started, but had little problems with the arm. We saw the drop off in velocity, and then he ended up having to go on the DL, and that's kind of bumped him back a little bit in that line as far as who might get shots at that starting rotation. But if he's throwing hard again and has good results, I think he'll move up the list pretty quickly.
Mercer hits a fly ball again to deep left field toward the wall, and it is caught by Reed Johnson. Harrison racing back to first. Mercer flirting with a 2-homer game.
Thought this one might have a chance when it came off the bat. Maybe got it a little too high. Long poke out there, 386, right where that ball was caught.
Can't believe it. Alvarez has a couple of hits.
Speaking about what this offense could be like, how about what it would be like when Pedro gets on one of his tears for about 10 days? Wow. You know he's gonna do that. What we've seen over his career, that he has those hot spots during the season. He hits one of them. Look out.
Where he was 1 year ago. Really hit far off. Ryan Morris gets strikeout number 3 in his 2 innings of work. Going to the bottom of the 8th. Pirates lead by 6. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Stay tuned after the game. Take you on the field, inside the clubhouse. Game reaction from the team. Ken Hurdle. And our post-game show presented by Allegheny Health Network coming up after the game on Root Sports. There's the home run feature that has not been set off tonight, as Charlie Morton kept the ball in the ballpark, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. His game to win. Stormy Pimentel getting in some work. Been on the disabled list over a month.
If you look at his numbers, they weren't all that bad, and that's when he was not feeling very well. His arm wasn't feeling well and was hurting a little. And they're just a 3.18 ERA. The opposition hitting just 2.33 off of him. But he is a power guy, big, strong. He can fire it up there in the 93, 95 mile an hour range is where he kind of likes to sit at. Ike stays in the game, plays first base.
Clint Barmas comes in the game to play second. Pimentel came over along with Mark Melancon in the Joel Hanrahan deal from Boston. For call. Strikeout, ground out, and a fly out against Charlie Morton. Three and two.
Pimentel overthrowing a couple of these breaking balls, especially that last one, really trying to bury that slider, get a swing and a miss for a strikeout.
He pitched in a handful of games out of the bullpen last year. Was placed on the disabled list with right shoulder inflammation on May the 4th. Ground ball to short. Mercer on to Davis. Have some fun in the sun with your Buccos and a summer six-pack. Choose 6 Pirates games throughout the summer and guarantee your seats for sold-out games. Packages start as low as $96 each. To get your summer six-pack, go to pirates.com/summer. Strike one. Johnson 0 for 2, hit by a pitch in the first. Big swing and the miss, 0 and 2. Charlie Morton, of course, in line to get the win. Mike Dunn up in the Fish bullpen. It would be Morton's 3rd straight victory. And 4 out of his last 5 starts would be W's. Pimentel takes care of Reed Johnson.
But that slider a nice spot. This is not overthrowing it, just putting it out of the strike zone just enough so you get that swing and a miss when you're ahead 2 strikes. Have a power type fastball. Might even been a changeup, right? It looked like a changeup grip, but kind of moved away from the hitter. The body type reminds me of, remember Jose Silva? It looked like just big, strong workhorse type. You could go out there and put it on, throw 235 pitches.
Yep.
That's workhorse.
It's 1-1 on Stanton. Last night, Jeff Locke gave the Pirates 8 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits allowed, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Tonight, Morton, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. It's an impressive run by starters. Comes on the heels of Garrett Cole landing on the DL, and then a short time later, Francisco Liriano. And now what will Vance Worley do tomorrow? He comes back to the big leagues. He'll make his Pirates debut tomorrow. Popped up. Mike Davis says he has room. He does, and 1-2-3 for Stormy Pimentel. On to the 9th inning.
authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nissan Road ahead for the Pirates. Vance Worley will make his first start in the big leagues since May 22nd of last year when he was with the Twins, and he will be opposed by Henderson Alvarez. Alvarez has good numbers this season. You can see the numbers for Worley at AAA Indianapolis. Most of them very good starts.
He's been throwing a lot of strikes, hasn't he? He just has 4 walks, 43 strikeouts.
The Clevelander nightclub here.
Not quite
Marlins
night
Park.
yet, though. You can see right through it. Still day outside.
You know, the sun doesn't set till later, Bob. How long do you say it's daytime? Like even into 8:30 or so?
When it's daytime.
So like even 8 o'clock at night, you call it daytime?
I'm staring at the sun, yeah.
Staring at the sun here?
Like when I was in AAA, we used to play up in Calgary. It was daytime till 10.
Think the sun's out now?
I don't know. I'd have to walk outside and look.
No.
It's got a dome here.
No sun.
How about in Atlanta? Sunshine in Atlanta?
Why are we talking about Atlanta? Strike is curious. Atlanta has nothing to do with Miami.
It's awfully bright.
No, actually,
outside.
that's not true. The Braves and the Marlins fighting for a playoff spot with the Washington Nationals. Chris Stewart. Into shallow right, and it drops in. What is Stewart doing?
He thought he caught it.
Stewart stopped halfway between first and second.
No, he thought he caught it. That's why.
I know, but he stopped halfway between first and second.
Well, if a guy catches the ball, wouldn't you stop? He thought he caught the ball. He didn't realize it. That it hit the grass. I mean, that's exactly what happened. He's running hard. He's
not even looking.
Popped up.
He never
looked.
He's
looking right now. He's looking. He thought, oh, he caught it. Oh, well. Now he's getting ready to walk back to the dugout, and he's, wait, why are they chasing me? Now he realizes what happened. See him looking out over his shoulder?
Kept his head down the whole time, assuming the ball was caught. And now Stony Pimentel. Well, I guess the result of the at-bat was probably what should have happened anyway. Although he gets a single out of it.
Should have been an out. Yes.
Yeah. Of course, Stewart's had some odd things happen to him. Last year, on a 1-1 pitch, he swung and missed as a member of the New York Yankees. So the count was 1-2, but he thought the count was 0-2. So he walked back to the dugout. And once he got back into the dugout, the home plate umpire had assumed also that it was strike 3. Even though the count had been 1-1 and not 0-2. So Stewart fooled everybody and essentially struck out on 2 strikes. And here he pops out, even though he gets a single out of it. 8-6-3 on the putout. Stony Pimentel. A rare at bat. He is 0 for 2 this season. Another at bat coming up for Polanco.
Well, he's quickly become somebody who you really anticipate coming to the plate. isn't that many players where he's like, oh, I can't wait to see this guy hit. But already, you feel like that with Polanco? You like look forward to his at bats?
No doubt. Ball one. I'd assumed that there was a double switch there. I had, again, wrong to assume it. Thought that Clint Barmes would have been in that 9th spot in that double switch. And instead, it was a straight change. So Barmes is in the spot that had been Josh Harrison's, the 5 hole.
So I use the whiteout a lot over there on your chart.
That's what happens at night, Bob.
If he gets a hit now, does that go on his daytime average or his nighttime average?
That I don't know, and I don't pay attention to the day-night
Well,
splits.
right here on the stat sheet, it says daytime average and nighttime average, so somebody must know.
Well, I don't. What's his average at day and night? You're looking at the stat sheet, the day and night average.
I'm not going to find the sheet that has that, but you know it's on there.
I don't see a day-night. I don't see it. I think that anything before 6 o'clock is a day game. This game started at 4:10. There the split. See, he hasn't played a day game yet. Proof. There you go.
No, that's before the game.
No, that's current. That is updated. Pedro has good daytime numbers.
One.
2-2 on Polanco. On base 3 straight times, a walk, RBI single, infield hit. Facing the lefty. And it was Dunn who gave up the 2-run homer last night to Polanco in the 13th inning. His first big league home run. And he's worked it to 3-2. Coming into this game, he became the first Pirate rookie to have at least 8 hits in his first 4 games since Jack Merson back in 1951. Gets this in the air to center. Ozuna makes the catch. 3 more outs to get, and the Pirates will be at 500.
found an interesting one.
Who wanted to look up?
You wanted me to
No,
look up.
I could care less, but go ahead.
In day games.
Yes.
Day games. Our pitching staff is hitting 231.
Oh.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Is that indoors?
It's 231. Wait.
All right.
As a team during day games, we're only hitting 215.
So pitchers hit better in the day than the
whole
position
team.
players.
Wow. The whole team.
Now, but we don't know whether that's when the roof is closed or open.
Well, what I'm saying is, on day games, we should put 9 pitchers out on the field.
That's a great idea. That's what statistics show.
Yeah.
Off the glove of Mercer. Casey McGee, a matter of how kind the official score will be. Does he want to give the home guy a hit?
It'll be a base hit. Don't you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a routine ground ball.
They just said base hit. I think I just heard it.
McGee extends his hitting streak to 9 straight games with that hit. Ed Lucas pinch hitting. Season high 18 hits for the Pirates, most since June 12th of last year against the Giants. One ball, one strike. Look out. Wow. In there in a hurry. 21,195. The announced paid crowd.
Concert or something after the game?
Yep. Fat Joe, the rapper.
Guess that's why we put a day game on.
Why?
A little concert afterwards.
They don't have concerts at night?
Well, yeah, it'll be night after the game.
When the Pirates' next fan jam will be, or Sky Blast, where the fireworks follow, and I think Leonard Skinner performing after a night game sometime soon. This ball's fouled off. Gavin DeGraw coming up at PNC Park. Go to Pirates.com. Check that out.
4 o'clock Saturday starts also. Had one last homestand.
Yeah. 12:35 start next Thursday against the Reds, concluding the brief homestand. Strike 3 call.
Oh, things look fairly easy. 94. Just inside off the edge.
Good velocity. Ozuna.
Tyone getting hurt. I think that was a pretty big blow to the depth of this team in the starting rotation anyway. But as we have seen already with Compton and Locke, there are definitely other options that are working out just fine. Stolmy could be one of those options if needed be. Need be. Hopefully the DL stints won't be long. I think Sounding pretty good by Cole.
Yeah, Cole's going to be fine.
You never know about the obliques, the things on your side. I mean, they could be a nagging type thing. They might not be either, but there's always that possibility.
No, because you can't take chances with them. So the pitchers, especially, we saw Grilly out a month because of the oblique. Francisco Liriano is on the DL with that oblique. In the meantime, it has opened up a door for some others. This ball hit well to right and gone for Ozuna.
Well, the Fish as a whole haven't had a very good day, but Ozuna has. Put that ball at the knees, right down the middle.
2-run homer. Ozuna 3 RBIs.
Got a little hop and a step.
Muto fouls this away. Ozuna now has a dozen home runs and 42 runs batted in on the year.
If you don't lean back, that one just picks your nose. Let's get a good look at one.
Popped it up. Alvarez. And 2 outs.
One more to go.
Grilly up just in case. Hurdle said he'd go right back to him, not concerned. He just had a bump in the road last night. So did Justin Wilson, even Mark Melancon.
Yeah, those guys, all 3 of them have been very solid, and they just happen to have an off night all on the same night.
Echeverria's base hit means that Pimentel needs to get the next man now in order to avoid Grilly coming in.
And if it becomes a save situation, that's when he made the move last night. As soon as it got to be a situation where you would be awarded that save, Grilly came in and just couldn't throw enough strikes. That was really the problem with everybody that came in out of the bullpen, was just the base on balls.
Jeff Baker. Came on to play first base in the 7th inning. Goes. Pirates pay no attention to him. Goes in their defensive indifference. Oh, 0-2. Pimentel trying to keep Grilly from having to come into this ball game, get this final out. Should Baker reach, it brings the potential tying run to the on-deck circle, and then it does become a save situation.
Kind of what we were talking about a little earlier in the game about how the save rule has changed the way games are managed.
Deep to left.
This will bring
Grilly's coming in.
Yeah.
That ball way gone. All of a sudden, 2 2-run homers off of Pimentel in the 9th, and it's 8-6.
Pimentel was having a nice little outing, and then it just has gone to South Beach in a hurry.
Jeff Baker's second home run of the season. No doubter.
We now have the save situation, and Grilly will come in.
Pimentel, after Pimentel had a 1-2-3 8th inning, gave up a 2-run homer to Ozuna, got the second out, but then after a base hit, this bomb from Jeff Baker. Save situation now, and we are seeing Jason Grilly.
It certainly was a bomb gone off the bat. But all managers nowadays, they have their closer warming at times, and you can't bring him in until it becomes a save situation. You know, even in a scenario where you would like to go bring him in now, well, closer's not going to want to come into the game if he can't get a save.
Yeah, so that's why he wouldn't have brought him in to face Baker,
because
it wasn't a save situation. And now it is, and
you know, well, I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened, but the scenario happens all the time in Major League Baseball, and you won't see a closer anywhere come into ball games early like that. In that scenario, they won't come in early.
No, Grilly came in last night after Justin Wilson walked 2 men, and so it became a save situation, and then Grilly gave up a walk, and after a ground out brought in a run, he walked another, a 2-run single, a blown save after he walked Stanton intentionally. And Grilly was really upset when he went back to the dugout last night. Oh, really thought he had him.
Yes, he did. Really last night was upset with some of the calls. Happy with the umpires. I don't think he's happy with this call.
Two count on for call. Line drive, base hit into right center field. And now Grilli has to face Reed Johnson with Giancarlo Stanton on deck. Johnson had the 2-run single to center field off of Grilli last night. That brought in the 4th and 5th runs and made it 6-5. Popped him up, perhaps playable. Davis is there to raise the Jolly Roger. A game that shouldn't have had this much drama in the 9th, but the Pirates come away with the win, and they are at the 500 mark.
And the story for this game for me is again big offense. Just fantastic. That threesome right there at the top of the order. They're going to be doing some great things. They did again today. Jay Hay coming back into the lineup after having his ankle kind of messed up for a couple of days. He got 3 knocks. We got some home